Hello! I am doing a new series for YouTube called the Sadie series, and I discussed it in my most recent tutorial, so make sure and check that out if you haven't yet. And the point of that video, of that series, is to do a vintage bridal tutorial series, which is basically all tutorials catering to brides. There will be utilizing sets that are a little bit more practical for brides and bridal stylists. And then we'll also be including styling suggestions when it comes to dresses, accessories, all that kind of stuff. So hopefully this will be helpful for you. But right now we're going to be doing a review of Lauren Rennells' new book entitled Create Vintage Wedding Hairstyles. I have to say I'm not crazy about the title. I feel like it could have had something a little catchier going for it, but regardless of that, it's an amazing book and it's absolutely a must for anyone who is into vintage weddings or into vintage style. And I honestly feel like even if you're not going to be doing any sort of wedding hairstyling in the future, it will really be helpful just to kind of have a general understanding of how to create styles that work well for photos and that can last all day. One of my favorite things about this book is the fact that she gives you some secrets that I feel like are really, really generous of her to be giving out. I feel like that there's a lot of things that she has learned over the years that she could easily have kept to herself so that she could kind of hold the high card in that respect, but she teaches it because she knows how important it is and how invaluable it is to understand how to do vintage hairstyling and how to make it last for weddings. In this book, she actually uses curling wands quite a bit, which I do not recall her having done in her other vintage styling books. I might be wrong. She might have used curling wands, but in this one, she specifically talks about how to wind hair around a curling wand so that you do receive a vintage type curl. That's very important, and I recently did that, and I really, really love the way it looked. So it's definitely something that you can use for any type of on-the-fly setting where you have limited space in your kit. It actually makes it really helpful to have just a little bit of knowledge on how to create a great, authentic-looking vintage wave with a easily accessible, compact little curling wand. Some of my other favorite things was that she really expanded on hair filler. In this particular book, she really talked about how hair filler needs to be used in vintage styling and why it's so important. My favorite part of this book, absolutely hands down, is extremely useful for those of you who, like me, live in high humidity settings. If you have a beautiful style that you've created a wave and you want to make sure you maintain that wave, but you live in an area where the humidity is high and so you don't really feel like it's going to work out, she actually teaches you how to sew hair. This is a technique that has been used since all the way back in the early ancient Rome. It's been used, it's been used for hundreds of years, this particular style or this particular technique, which is that of sewing hair, actually sewing threads into the hair and creating a kind of invisible net to make the hair last. So she teaches how to do that, and she does it through several styles in the book. Some of the styles definitely have more of a retro modern feel. I feel like there are some very famous hairstylists out there that do vintage inspired styles for weddings, such as I follow on Instagram Hair and Makeup by Steph. I think she's phenomenal. But she does a lot of those types of styles with the loose curls and tendrils and things like that. My favorite style as far as appearance goes in the book is this one here. This is an absolutely gorgeous style. I took a photo of this whenever I came to this page when I was reading the book for the first time and just like freaked out a little bit. This was the one that I felt like was just absolutely gorgeous. This style is beautiful, and it's one of the more intricate, complicated ones, but I feel like that the techniques are simplified to the point that you can definitely make it work for you. Now, I was looking at this one thinking there is no way this can be done in this environment unless you've got some natural curl to your hair. Like this on me would last, especially because it's accomplished with a curling iron and a round brush. Actually, I think it's a flat iron. I feel like that's a style that just would not last in this environment, especially on a straight-haired girl. But the cool thing is that if you have an understanding of what settings do work for you, you can use the tutorials in this book and just kind of cater it to your own environment and cater it to the hair type that you're working with. So you do need to have a little bit of understanding about hair textures and types, but this book is absolutely invaluable, and I strongly, strongly recommend that anybody who is into vintage styles and who's wanting to do that as not necessarily as a living, but just to help somebody out to style their hair for their wedding, this is your absolute must-have, go-to, like step-by-step product. It'll give you confidence, and it will just make it a little bit more of something that you can feel can be accomplished. This gorgeous 1960s inspired updo, I absolutely love it. I feel like it's a great, not untraditional way of channeling the Breakfast at Tiffany's look that's so popular for brides. So yeah, this is a must-have book. I don't want to go into it too much. I've already been talking for 7 minutes. I don't want to go into it too much. I just want to say that there are certain things in this that I feel like make it different than any book I've ever had for styling. And I feel like that used cohesively with your other styling knowledge, with YouTube tutorials, with maybe some other vintage styling books that you might have, this is just one of those things that just makes it all make sense all together. So definitely give Lauren's book a chance. Go to HRST Books and look it up. You can actually purchase it at the link below, and just tell her I sent you. And thanks again. Hopefully this series, the Sadie series, will be helpful for you. This book just happened to come out at exactly the right time because it made my job a whole lot easier. So thanks a lot. Bye-bye.